Good morning, or should I say afternoon, everyone, or maybe even night, if you look at the broadcast in the background. My name is Olaf, aka Novice Racing, and I'll be a commentator for tonight, joined by Jim Cunningham as we are approaching the ending of the season for the Jack Ashton Racing and Coaching, combined with the Novice Racer McLaren GT3 World Tour tonight at Suzuka. Jim, how are we doing?
Doing good, man. Good to be back with you again after you had last week off for celebrating that ancient age that you're turning. Happy birthday. Belated
Thank you so much, mate. Thank you.
As you can see, it's nice and bright out there.
Yeah, we can see a total accuracy of nothing.
Nothing.
We have cars on track. There are headlights. I see a number on the side. That's Theophanopoulos, I think, from the looks of the number, the 918. There it is. We're currently in qualifying 10-minute session that we are approaching the end of, with the drivers just getting in their final laps, and it's absolutely pitch black dark. Without the track map, we can't even see one track we're on, but we are at Suzuka in Japan. 2.5 minutes remaining for the drivers to get their laps in. The lap is about 2 minutes long, so that means that they have around one more chance to do a lap. And Theophanopoulos here getting a good first two sectors, and then the second two are a little bit worse. So he's trying to make his way through. Currently sat in 8th position. And he's really looking to get into that top 10 that he hasn't been in for a while now. Looking at the pro-ams and the AMs roll, always, of course, as per usual, pretty mixed up. We have some pros at the front. Pretty empty track for now. 4 pros in the scene, 4 AMs at the scene, and then a few more pro-ams to get it up in the mix. Theophanopoulos now to 7th place. He's got Weston, Green, and Medicals at the pro-ams ahead of him. And Knox, Tommy Patero, and Johansson out in front. And this is going to be interesting for the championship, of course, because we do have the standings that we can go over in between the sessions as Josh Taylor goes up to 5th place. That's a good lap from Taylor.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
Lap. Very nice lap.
Yeah, so we're looking around the 2 minutes bit, and we have 1:59 for Johansson out in first, and he's currently leading the championship as well. But Lessa in 2nd place is not present at the track.
Oh, that's the schedule. You probably don't want that yet.
Oh, well, we'll go to that in a minute. Here we have the standings. We have Johansson out in first with 167 points. Lessa has only 9 points behind him with 158. And Patero is 26 points behind Johansson in 3rd. So he's going to be looking to get some points on Lessa tonight. Same goes for Ian Knox, who is also present. And then Theophanopoulos in 7th in the pros. Doesn't even touch the top 10 overall. So that just goes to show how good our Pro-Am class is. Theophanopoulos with 50 points, Castleman with 60. They've got a bunch of Pro-Ams in between. 1st to 8th in the Pro-Ams are in between there. And Parker Enquist and Reese Bartlett are in between there as well. So the overall standings, we have the 5 pros out in front and then 5 Pro-Ams right behind that, with Garrett Kinney in 10th place. So
yeah,
it's quite a big battle in the middle.
That was our last vehicle on track, too. So we got about, 20 seconds here or so with nobody on track. We got one headlight out there.
You're getting ready for that standing start. So that does mean we have our qualifying positions done with 5 seconds remaining. Johansson in first. Patero will have that 2nd place locked in. 15 cars on the track. It's a big track compared to some other tracks that we've seen in the season. Now that all the cars are off the track, I see some faint lines maybe that might be on my screen, but there is something going on here. This should be in the background. It's very dark.
I would have maybe thought to, I don't know. It seems like for learning purposes, maybe a few lights around the track would have been good for the guys. But then again, this teaches you. Of course, there's a lot of 24-hour endurance races that run. In pitch black, like Nürburgring and things like that.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the Nürburgring, but we have to look at the grid for tonight's first race. Johansson in first, Patero in 2nd, Medicals lining up on the 2nd row with Ian Knox. Taylor and Green will having that 3rd row. Weston, Theophanopoulos, Cecere, and Bartlett rounding out the top 10. And Gary Werner and Garrett Kinney for the top 12. Looking a little bit further behind, Parker Enquist, David Taverner, Timothy Rybrow, and Mark Miller for P16. So 16 cars for this race. 2 rounds today. The engine's already turning on as we are counting down the moments until race number 1 starts. And I want to drop in some predictions, but it's night. There's no floodlights. The people in the stands are just looking at basically nothing until a car zooms past. It's just headlights and, well, the floodlights here at the start finish line is the only thing they can realistically see. So the cars are flashing, I believe, some of their lights, and we can see that flickering in the background even. So it's absolutely pitch black here in Japan, and it's just a question as to who can get their bearings and recognize the track as they are approaching, because it is fast. It's very, very fast.
Yes, and it's isn't this the largest figure 8 track in the world, or maybe the fastest figure 8 track in the world, where the track actually crosses over itself? Now we're all gridded up. We got everybody on the grid here now.
Right, so the lights are on. Oh, the lights are off. They're on screen, but they are currently off. 5 lights. Getting ready to get started here. Race 1, round 6 at Suzuka. And we're off with Johansson on the right-hand side of your screen. The yellow car being chased by Tommy Patero on the inside. Good launch for the both of them. Good launch for Tommy Patero as he takes away the lead from Johansson going into turn 1, but the outside line still being taken as Johansson holds on to it, but the inside just a bit too strong there as Patero takes away the lead from Johansson as Knox gets past Medicals as well. So the P2 and P4 starts have gone up 1 position. Further in the back, we have some more shuffling with Theophanopoulos dropping back further down side by side through the right-hander. The inside lines being very, very strong here as Parker Enquist and Gary Werner drop back to 16th and 15th respectively as Theophanopoulos drops down as well. But Mark Miller having an amazing start from last all the way up to 11th.
Wow, yeah, that's a big jump here as we were side by side there for a second for the lead.
And Patero holding on quite nicely. He's going to be making some upvotes in the standings, third as it stands. But he's got 17 points on to Lessa, and that's the amount that he wants to take. Of course, I think we have some crashes further back on the grid, and that does show that Johansson is off. Johansson is in the last currently, stationary on the track.
Yeah.
We have, I think, some more drivers. Josh Taylor dropping back as well.
Let's get this settled down here, then we'll figure out what's going on.
And Nicholas Green now side by side. Some action here on the backside of the track. Currently going into Spoon, and that's Reese Bartlett right alongside, who's going to be holding on to a spot. That's Josh Taylor right behind him. And here we have some views of Theophanopoulos trying to get a move on Garrett Kinney. That's for 9th. As we do see Wybrow losing 2 places as well. He's currently having a little off-track excursion, and last place as Johansson is catching up to him.
Yeah,
so,
all right, let's go take a look real quick while we got a second here. What happened to Johansson?
Yeah, see if we can get a replay from Johansson, of course, being in 2nd place, going onto the right-hander, gets his car stopped in time, goes for the exit, and then is that a spin? That is a spin! Oh,
yeah,
we've
right
seen this countless times.
That's why we didn't see it, because it happened right under that bridge. He looks like he got his back tires out there, just got over the curb and got onto the grass a little bit. It just came around on him.
Yeah, I've seen this countless times before. This is one of the things that we saw happen all over the place with the drivers just losing their rears on certain occasions. There he goes. And it's not even, I think that's not even the grass. It's just the green bits. Like there's some sand out there, but he just loses it on the off track and on the curb. And this is where the GT3s lack a little bit with these fixed setup. Everyone has the same setup, and some of them like it a little bit more than others. But Johansson hasn't been the driver to make these mistakes, and I think it's the first one that we've seen actually this season where Johansson has this big of a slip up, and that's a championship leader. That's 14th.
Yeah, that's huge.
So the first 3 minutes have concluded. Johansson's gone past Wybrow. Gary Werner is in the pits, currently stationary as we speak. Maybe looking to get back out there, but it might just be completely over. And that is a
big issue here, it looks like. Let's see what happened to Wybrow.
It's a car a bit wide. Good tuck back in. Wybrow.
Well, it seemed, there he goes. Okay.
Oh. Yep, and there's a wall there. And that's another car. Oh, that's a big hit.
That looked weird. That almost looked like some kind of equipment failure or something, didn't it?
Well, I mean, he had the corner and then just kind of swerved onto the side.
Yeah, that was a bit on the strange side. And then he went straight to he's still on track. And who else we got out there? We got a meatball flag out there for somebody.
As Chetre is headed back to the pits now. It's two of the Pro-Ams going to that pit stop. Looking at Josh Taylor now trying to get a move on to Reese Bartlett into the chicane. It doesn't get it so far. Has to slot in behind, but Chetre with that meatball flank. Werner in the pits as well. And the fight's still on, and this is looking a little bit better for the reverse grid that we, of course, have in this series. 2 races with a big reverse grid, meaning that Tommy Patero, if he keeps it up like this, will be starting way back, way back. As Werner's gone back onto the track, and he hasn't done... I don't think he's completed a single lap, so that means that he's going to get started on his race after, I think, an incident in the back. I don't know if he saw Werner get hit with anything. As Taverner here loses a place to Johansson, who's just trying to pick his way through. It's going to be a good run for the top 10. Trying to salvage as many points as he can, and of course, lower finishing position will mean that he will get a higher starting position for the for race number 2. As we see Knox getting a yellow flag, and that's a slowdown for an off track that he has to take, and it's going to increase the gap to Patero out in first. So here we have the class standings.
Already pretty far. A decent amount of space between the two of them. They're already about a second and a half apart, as you can see here.
Yeah, Patero doing a good job to extend that lead, and Knox just with a small mistake having to get that slowdown. And we do see that Johansson's currently back into the top 3 of the pros. There's only 4 available, and Theophanopoulos is currently out of the pit lane. In the Pro-Ams, we have Medicals, Weston and Green, and in the Ams, we have Reese Bartlett in 6th place, Taverner in 10th, and Enquist in 12th. So Bartlett's doing a good job here.
Enquist had an episode here just on previously, right, on this previous lap here. See what happened to him here. Come around.
Yeah, it's going to be another spin on the exit. There we have him. 247 car. Currently sat in 12th. A little bit of a loosey-goosey on the rear.
Yeah.
And that happens, of course, at the hairpin. And yeah, we've seen that from race 1. The drivers have struggled with this. Luckily, the starts have been a little bit better, especially for Patero, who's got that mega launch off the line to get past Johansson. That was a very good job. As Green is trying to have a little look there on Weston ahead of him. That's for 4th place. 4th place overall. But we have
just side by side going in here.
That's Taylor and Kinney being chased down by Bartlett. They just got past Bartlett, actually. He just dropped down to 8th, and Kinney now looking to get Taylor as well. That's going to be up for 6th place. And Kinney is actually currently 10th in the standings, and Taylor is at 9th in the standings. There's 2 points separating them, so this is basically for the championship position. If they can manage to get this, that's a spin. That's Bartlett going through.
Oh, Johansson.
Johansson going through as Bartlett has a through the grass, I should say. Bartlett goes off the track. To recover himself.
A rough one, man. That's he is. I wonder what their traction control is set on, because you wouldn't think these cars would be. Ooh, there's a big wiggle there too. He's struggling.
Well, from the looks of it, the traction control is absolutely 0. He's he's looking quite squirrely all over the road.
That's strange. Let's see. Let's go inside and see if we can see. I don't know if the steering wheel will tell us that or not. Can we see?
Well, it shows off. It shows off, and off, which I don't think it does. There's no way they have that. They have it off.
I think it's the setup is they're just not revealing this. They don't reveal that on these cameras sometimes.
Yeah, we can't see the tire pressures and temperatures either. Like that's just a very good. Just making sure that it doesn't get revealed too much. Some strategies of the drivers just trying to steal away this stuff. Yeah, as White Brown also has the meatball flag. And that, of course, means that the damage on the car is a little bit too big for them to continue, so they have to go into the pits and get that repaired.
Look at this. He's had another episode.
Let's see what happens here with Wybrow. He's on the same spot.
He got on that.
That's just the rear.
You see all that debris on the track right there?
Yeah.
I really think that debris might have helped him go around. Wow.
Oh, there he goes. That's a big hit though for Wybrow. Of course, meaning that he's gonna get the meatball flag and have that repaired as we are approaching the halfway mark of the race. 5 laps. We should have, with this pace, maybe the start of the 11th lap. I'm not sure. I don't want to gamble on it, but the lap times are just around the 2 minutes. But with Tommy Patero's lap time, it's just under the 2 minutes. We've got a 1:59.9. He's the only driver to have these lap times.
That's
but that
faster than he qualified, isn't it? He qualified with a 1:59.99, and he just turned a 1:59.91 in the race.
Yeah, and it was Johansson who qualified with the 59.9.
Oh, yeah,
everyone behind him wasn't the 2 minutes. That means that Patero had a 2 minute lap time, and now he's gone faster in the race.
Yep.
And that that obviously can have something to do with the pressure in qualifying. You want to go to the absolute limits, and if you get a banker lap in of just over the 2 minute mark, and then you get to push for that 59, and then you go over the line, and you don't get your lap in, or you make a mistake somewhere because you're pushing so hard. Because you want to push so hard. Like, I mean, of course, you don't get that faster lap time, but here in the race, it's quite easy to keep on pushing a little bit more in the clean air. It's just you get your rhythm in, and it might just be a little bit easier to get those lap times in.
That's what it is, right? The rhythm, man. You get settled into a rhythm, and you kind of lose sight of the fact you're not watching your relatives, you're not watching your delta. And all of a sudden, you're turning faster laps as he goes to make a move here on the inside. Looks like he's going to get that done. Johansson's
that's quite wide there for Kinney.
2 spins, and he's already back up to 7th place overall. That's pretty impressive considering, the 2 spins. He's lucky he hasn't torn the car up.
Yeah, the spin he had on lap 1, that was absolutely crazy. Just getting the rear all loose. And then, being reversed on the grid, pretty far behind everyone else. And if we look at the gap, he's currently only 20 seconds behind Patero in first. So even with that big spin, he might have lost like half a minute there because he has to wait for all the other cars. He was in 2nd place.
Right.
He has to wait for everyone, the entire pack, to pass before he can safely rejoin on the track. So he had to wait quite a while before he could get back out of that. And managing the traffic, overtaking everyone that's ahead of him, and then being still like around 20 seconds behind the leader of the race, that's quite impressive.
That is. That really is. I mean, we know he's fast, obviously, but very unusual to see him spin it twice. Like I said, we haven't seen him make a mistake all season. And to see him struggle a little bit here, not in wet conditions or anything like that. We've got some side-by-side going on here.
Looking at Mark Miller now, trying to get a move on Taverner as we are approaching the Spoon corner. That's a little tap towards the inside. The 2 drivers making it through fully, but that's Miller through on Taverner on lap number 6. And that's a good move, I'd say, and that's a spin.
Oh, it's Miller?
Just keeps it
no,
clear.
No, it's Taverner. Okay, yeah.
That was Taverner, just keeping it clear of the rear of Miller. So he's had a little spin as Bartlett goes back on through as well, up to the lead for the AM class.
That, though. I mean, he did lose one spot, but he did a pretty good job saving that. That car was pretty far around.
Yeah, that was quite sideways. That was a good recovery. I'm just happy to see that he didn't slide up too far and get into the rear of Miller.
Yeah,
that would mean the end of 2 races possibly. But Bartlett getting back into the lead of the AMs. It's gonna be happy thoughts. Johansson is looking to the rear of Taylor, but now we're looking at Theophanopoulos in the back of Cecere. Both of them haven't had the greatest race so far. And Theophanopoulos, of course, in the pro class, quite far behind. So that does indicate that he's had multiple issues, not just the one.
No, he has had several issues. I think they start compounding themselves. Plus, he had to pit. I think because if I'm not mistaken, he had a meatball there at one point, I believe. Let's pop back up here and run through maybe the class leaders or something. Here's obviously Patero's got him about a 2.5 second lead out there right now, which is in this class. That's a pretty nice sized lead.
He's done a good job to get ahead at the start, and then of course with Knox being a little bit behind, just getting that yellow flag, getting out of the slipstream, which is quite strong with these cars. But they were just absolutely dominating the first event, and we'll have to see what he can do in race number 2. For the Pro-Ams, we have Medicals. It was a 3rd overall.
Yes.
He's doing a great job as well. He's not too far behind. It's only 5 seconds to Ian Knox. He's holding on quite well, and he's got 5 seconds behind, so it's kind of lonely. in the dark, all alone,
He is
in
out
the middle
there
of the
by
pack.
himself,
But
isn't he?
yeah, it's a good showing. It's currently 6th in the standings. Needs 1 point to get Van Savicius, who isn't present today. So he might just get that. Ian Knox will get more points than Medicals. Knox being 4th with only 4 points ahead of Medicals. It's quite very, very close in the midfield of the top 10. But Medicals, good load of points that he's going to get here. And then a little bit further back, in the AM class leaders is Reese Bartlett, who is currently sat in 10th place.
I'm sorry.
He was 6th at some point.
You real quick here. We got, you can tell this is turning into a heated battle real quick here between, we got by him too. There's Johansson, man. I tell you what, he's a man on a mission right now for sure.
Yeah, Johansson looking at the inside line and absolutely sending it. The one thing that Patero did to him on lap number 1, he now does to Josh Taylor as Johansson gets up to 6th. And the more points he can score now, the bigger of a lead he's going to get over Lessa, who is not present at this race with only 1 round to go next week at the Algarve. That is next week, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah, well, here, let me pull it just real quick. Let's pull up the schedule and see. I believe it is next week.
Yeah, the 26th. Yeah, that is next week. We have the season finale at the Algarve Grand Prix in Portugal. And that's going to be the showing who gets the championship. And Lessa's not looking too good here. But Patero still has something to say about it with his finishing position. Going to get a good amount of points. But Taylor's holding on quite well.
That's a huge miss for Lesser this week. I mean, he was, I guess, he was within 6 or 8 points or something like that, maybe. And to miss this week is huge,
Yeah, there's 9 points currently between Johansson and Lessa. And Lessa missing out here is going to give Patero, Knox, and Johansson free reign of that top 4. It's going to give them a lot of points today. Of course, race 1 maximized by Patero. Don't think he's going to lose it unless he loses it. I think it's going to be great for the standings.
I was going to say, let's go back and give Reese Bartlett the love since we cut away from him. But unfortunately, he's already got some love from Taverner here, apparently. Let's see what happens.
Taverner getting the overtake done on Bartlett. Doesn't look like a clean overtake. Yeah, that's Bartlett off.
Yeah.
A little bit of playing in the sand by Bartlett, and Taverner up to 10th place.
He could be on vacation, like he's at the beach.
Well, with this weather and this cold in the night, I don't think you want to be at the beach in Japan at the moment.
Probably not.
But that's a good move from Taverner to get past Bartlett. The gap between them now 2 seconds, so I believe that Taverner will take down victory for the AMs. We've got 3 minutes remaining, 1.5 laps to go. So it does goes to show Patero is still almost 3 seconds ahead of Ian Knox. Still the only driver with a 1:59 to his name. Everyone else has done 2 minutes, 2-minute ones, and sometimes even 2-minute twos. But the grid is quite close. It's very, very close. With the fastest lap as Johansson gets past Nicholas Green, who is dropping down the order as Taylor also gets past. So Green has dropped down 2 places, and he's now in 7th.
He just had an incident just now.
This is Green behind Weston, I believe, and he's gone back to the pits. See what happened. Oh, well.
Well, that was a bad camera angle, especially in the dark. All right, let's try from the chopper and see if we can see anything.
Yes, this is Nicholas Green behind Weston on the long left-hander. I think we've seen some issues here. That's onto the curb and into the wall he goes.
It's crazy to me the way these rear ends. They must have these. I'm sure it's obviously a fixed setup series. They must have these the traction control, especially the slip angle, set pretty low. Because we've seen a lot of cars come around on these guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of them having that problem with the exits at the corners, but not even just the exit on acceleration, because that long left-hander is basically almost full throttle. It's just, like you said, that slip angle, they're just losing it a tiny bit. And it's either the traction control, or they might have just some rake setup that some of these drivers are not enjoying, because Patero has been absolutely blasting it with lap times.
Yes.
Again, another 59
Yes.
on the previous lap. He's just pushing harder than everyone else is, getting the faster lap times, but he hasn't made a single mistake. And then we see drivers like Johansson and like Nick Green just having those spins on the exit. I don't think it's too much of a traction. It might be the traction control issue, but you won't need traction control if you have a stable setup. So it might just be a little bit of the setup that is not looking too great.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's very true. I don't know. It just seems to me, we're seeing a couple of like Johansson. I mean, which by the way, he is solidly in 5th place now. Did he? Okay, no, he's good. All right. So when did he just passed? No, that was okay. No, he's good. I was just checking to see if he, but he hasn't moved up anymore. This is where we saw him pass Taylor earlier.
Yeah, he's gone past Taylor. That was with the whole Nick Green incident. He's gone the meatball. He's back into the pits, and he got past Taylor now as well. So that's back up to 5th place. He's got 6.5 seconds onto Weston. Don't think he can make that in this final moment. As the checkered flag is almost out, and we're looking at Patero as the checkered flag does come out now, as the 10th lap is completed by our Flying Finn in 1st place, gaining the lead from P2 and happy as a whale over the line is Tommy Patero in 1st place. Ian Knox gets 2nd place to his name as George Medicos crosses the line in 3rd to get that podium and the Pro-Am win.
Yeah.
Tom Weston will still hold on to 4th place as he crosses it now. Johansson with a very good recovery after that spin on lap number 1 to get 5th place. And, of course, still that podium for the pros. Taylor right behind for the last place in the Pro-Am podium. Kinney and Miller stalling in behind in 7th and 8th. And then right behind with Taverner holding on to the lead for the Am class as he just rounds the corner in the back. There he goes. So he'll get that victory for the Am, and Rhys Bartlett still hands that 2nd place for the Ams as Werner goes over the line to secure 14th after finishing all the laps but 1. And we have Bartlett and then, of course, Enquist in 3rd for the Ams. Chechere and Theophanopoulos a little bit slower halfway through the lap now, still trying to complete theirs, as they have also had some issues a little bit early on, but still will finish all of the 10 laps.
Still waiting.
So that's going to give Tommy Patero the most amount of points.
Yeah, and you have to give Johansson credit. I mean, he really made a nice recovery there to just recuperate what he could out of that situation, because he was definitely in a bad spot there for a little while. These are our last cars here still out on the track. Got to get them across where they'll give me the results.
Yes, it's a very good run for Johansson. He's going to be starting a few places up on Knox and Patero as well. So that's maybe a blessing that he won't have to battle with them, and he's got less cars to overtake before he gets up to the higher points paying positions. As Chechere and Theophanopoulos now go through in 12th and 13th, getting everyone over the line. And now the race is officially over, as we are going to be moving on to a 5-minute warm up onto race number 2. So these are the results. Patero out in 1st, Ian Knox in 2nd, George Medicos completing the overall podium, Weston coming in 2nd for the Pro-Ams, Johansson 3rd for the pros, 5th overall, Josh Taylor in 6th overall, but 3rd for the Pro-Ams, followed by Kinney and Miller, Taverner in 9th, getting the Am podium and the Am victory as well, as Bartlett and Enquist follow him on through for the 1, 2, 3, and that's 9th, 10th, 11th overall. And then Chechere, Theophanopoulos, Green, Werner, and Wybrow coming in 16th, and that's plus 7 laps. That means that Wybrow did not get anything done too great on this race, but he also has race 2 to make up for it.
Yeah, he had a tough race. That was several incidents there. This one did not go well for him at all. Let's see if we got somebody out there on track. If not, it's just going to be a nice dark screen to look at for a while.
Yeah, so just a few minutes, 4 more minutes until we get the grid for today for race number 2. So they have their small little warm up to try and maybe seek out the spots where they made that mistake. And this is Weston going around, having a pretty okay first race. Don't think he's gone off too badly there.
No,
with
good
race number
showing.
1.
I mean, really, what he finished, he was fourth overall. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, second in class and fourth overall. That's a pretty good show. And Medicos, that was pretty impressive with Medicos up there. He seemed to really be comfortable here tonight. We also got Patero out on track.
Yeah, that was a good showing for Medicos to arrive home in third. That is going to give him the definite position over Vancevicius. He's currently holding fifth in the championship. That's going to put Medicos up to that place. Unfortunately for him, Knox and Patero both got quite a good amount of points, meaning that he's not going to get the position on Knox, but he is still quite close behind. So Knox is one DNF away from losing that fourth place to Medicos, putting a Pro-Am up to fourth in the overall standings, where in a season where we have more than 4 very capable pros,
Yes.
looking for the championship.
Yeah, that's impressive. I don't, at this point, based on the way he's performed all season, speaking of Medicos, you would think he's probably going to elevate to pro pretty soon. As Jack moves him around. We only got the one more race left in the regular season, so probably not this season. But I would think, he's drove it in a little deep there. As you can see, when his headlights hit we've had a lot of off tracks. There's a lot of debris on that track. I'm pretty sure that the debris caused that one spin. I can't remember who it was now, but clearly got out there in some of that gravel that was on the track and lost it. Well, they're running really wide right there. That is, I think he stayed within the track limits, but that was pretty close.
Yeah, so that debris, of course, being caused by some of the incidents that we've had.
Quite a few off tracks
in this race.
Quite a few.
Now, hopefully, we're going to get a little bit more than that on. Well, I mean, no, not more of that for race number 2. Less off tracks. I was thinking of more on tracks, and then I said more off tracks. No, we don't want to see more off tracks. We want to see good racing,
right.
Not more off tracks.
Little rally cars here.
I mean, the green stuff here on the side, we can see it there with the headlights shining on it. That's not even grass. That's just
what do y'all
green
green
tarmac. I think.
Well, I think it's that fake grass. What do y'all call that? Over in Europe,
fake.
That fake grass. We call it AstroTurf here in America.
Yeah, I think we have the same words. I think I don't think it's too much different over here. I wouldn't even know what to call that really. It's called it's green tarmac, AstroTurf, off track. Everything that's not part of the track is usually just combined as an off track. So it's. The green bits of the non-existing racing service.
The reason I asked that is because where I'm from, where I live is in Houston, Texas, and we have our baseball team here is called the Astros, and the stadium that they used to play in was the first domed stadium ever built, and it's called the Astrodome, and they used to call it the eighth wonder of the world, because it was the first dome stadium. And that fake grass was actually created for the Astrodome for the baseball team. That's why it's called AstroTurf.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's
very interesting.
Yeah, that's the reason I asked. Just because I figured you might be an interesting fact to share as we get our.
Yeah, I'm not very well versed in the American. History and terms. Speaking of American, we have a few of them on the track, but not in our top 5. We have Wybrow taking the pole position after being down 7 laps in race number 1. And Gary Ferner lining up on the front row. We have Nicholas Green in third, but Theophanopoulos on that second row with a very good chance to get this lead of the race. And the win, maybe, of course, as well, jumping up in the standings. Chetre and Enquiries have that third row, followed by Reese Bartlett and David Taverner with that good racing in the latter stages of the race. Mark Miller, Garrett Kinney right behind with Josh Taylor, Johansson with his second try at a recovery race. And behind them, we have Weston Medicos, Ian Knox, and then Tommy Patero, our victor from race number 1, to get the last slot on the grid. And number 88, Finn, on the last place. He's going to try to do a Johansson as the lights are on, the engines are roaring, and we're ready for race 2. And that is Theophanopoulos not well away, but that is Reese Bartlett with a mega start on the left-hand side, all the way up to 3rd place. Nicholas Green and Gary Werner trying to battle it out for turn number 1, but that is Nick Green a little bit ahead of Werner, and we'll take turn 1 as 1st place. Reese Bartlett having a good start. It's up 4 places from where he started. The same goes to Josh Taylor in 7th, as Ian Knox has gained 5 spots, already past Johansson. And look at that sandwich. Johansson is now in between his rivals, Ian Knox and Tommy Patero, and there's no way he's not going to fight them.
No, absolutely. Yeah, this is when you make up positions. You know, it's a lot harder after you get through these first lap or 2. You know, you could pass so many cars right here.
That's still side by side. Everyone within a second. Mark Miller is already out from the looks of it. He is currently in the first stages of the race. He's quite far behind already, so that might have been an incident as well, as Timothy Weinbrow
jumped to the pits. We'll check that in a second.
Yeah, we see Taverner now having a spin. He's been dropped all the way towards the end from the looks of it. He is a little bit further down, and we see some fighting here. This is Weston. Now it's a spin from Taylor. Josh Taylor being spun around. Now having to recover at the hairpin, as we have Reese Bartlett still holding on to 3rd with Theophanopoulos right behind him. That's a little bit too deep there, but he holds it in as the American behind him holds on to a line, and that is a position gained by Theophanopoulos, and Bartlett dropping back 1 spot.
Yeah, Taylor Taverner had a little off-track incident. It looks like Josh Taylor just might have had some business here. Once this gets settled in, we'll go back and look at that. We've got a nice 3-way battle right here. Actually,
that's Ian Knox going on through. Johansson looking to do the exact same here on Parker Enquist. And these 3 pros all looking to jump up the standings. They're grouping together a little bit. Johansson started up quite high, but he's been overtaken, of course, by Ian Knox. Was gained 9 places at the start.
He is on a roll right now. Look at him go. That was a nice save by I guess that was Bartlett. No, that was there's that's Johansson in front of him.
Yeah, a little bit of a squeeze there, but Knox now losing the place to Johansson, who obviously wants these points really bad as we're approaching the this 3rd lap for race number 2. This is lap number 2 for race number 2, and Johansson, Knox, and Patero now grouping up again as our number 88 car has now also overtaken Reese Bartlett, the man with the start. He's now losing spots left, right, and center as the cars are spinning, and that is Chechere.
That is Chechere.
Once again, with the weekend to forget, he's out of this race.
Man, yeah, he is having a weekend to forget, isn't he? Look at this battle right here.
It's 2 races in a row this weekend that Chechere has had an incident. Not sure if that was just the rear losing or if that was a contact. I'm sure if we can get a replay of that, we can have a little look. And Johansson now getting overtaken by Patero, who's
Let's first real quick. We'll go back and look at Chechere situation here.
Oh, there is. Oh, there appeared to be some contact. I'm sure if that was the cause of it. We caught that on the tail end. Speaking of tail ends, I don't think Chechere has any, as his rear end just came off completely.
Let's do this, and then we'll jump back here and see what happens. So he comes on the inside.
Oh, that's a bit too hard on the inside. Small taps there. Yeah, that was
I don't know what to think of that. It was kind of a sin
space
there, but he did have some room in there. All right, let's go back real quick and see. This is what happened to Josh Taylor.
I think we found a few more moments in the meantime. Theophanopoulos is in the pits as we speak. Oh, that's a send on to the inside, and that makes it through just barely, and that's just losing the rear.
Yeah, he got squeezed out there. So let's see what did happen. Oh, here we go. Yeah,
she's off the racing line.
real quick here.
Oh, what is this? What are we looking at?
Well, that was Werner and Theophanopoulos.
Well, we got that on the tail end as well. Unsure what's happened here.
All right. Oh.
Oh, that's on the straight line. That is on the straight line. That's not a place you should have a contact. It's on the back straight, I believe, going over the
here we go.
The other part of the track, and it looks like that is Werner just moving over to where Theophanopoulos is.
That almost looks like a steering wheel failure.
Well, it's crazy to think we have two of them on the same evening. That might just be a...
Unless they just like a net code thing where they're, you know what I mean, like something. I don't know. That's very strange.
What's up to the stewards to decide what's going to happen with that? But in the meantime, Theophanopoulos also not a fantastic weekend. It's going to be forgetting this one quite easily. And looking at the classes, we've got the Pro-Ams currently leading. That's Nick Green in first place. He's going to be chased down by Ian Knox, Tommy Patero, and Johansson in just a moment. There they are.
Two, huh? Knox is up 13 spots. Patero's up 13 spots. Johansson 8 spots.
These three are absolutely slamming it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We've seen these three fight, of course, for the first race, with Johansson trying to get back up to the standings. But now we see the three of them all grouped up for second, third, and fourth. They're going to be going for the lead. That's Patero on through on Knox. He's gone a little bit wide on the final turn of the track. And now it is Johansson trying to duck into the slipstream, but he does have a little bit of room as Patero goes back towards the outside of the track. And there's another car in the middle of all that, and that's Ian Knox, who's been dropped back another place. That's Knox down to fourth. Patero and Johansson on through.
Man, Johansson, I tell you what, he didn't hesitate right there. He put it in there.
That's absolutely insane to look at these moves. Just Ian Knox with a bad exit out of the turn, and Patero, Johansson getting on through.
If we can. This was, look at this move right here. I mean, he didn't hesitate, man. He just put it in there.
He had the space, a small bit of slipstream in there. He sent it in.
I mean, he just drove it in there and outbraked him. I mean, that was a great pass. I mean, that was a fantastic pass.
Yeah, Johansson's been practicing those passes on the rest of the grid. In race number one, now he gets to put it into practice for the points for the big
points. A lot
points.
Of practice. He's probably passed about 35 cars tonight if you count both races. Medicos
That's fantastic stuff.
Not struggling, but he's up 5 spots, but he's still back there at 9th right now, and he's got a battle going on here himself with Weston.
Yeah, Weston just a few meters ahead on the track, but a lot of points ahead in terms of points paying positions. Currently for 8th. That's quite a few they can add to their tally. Medicos with a good overspeed, almost caught up to the rear of Weston there. So that is a good, nice fight here for P8. As Medicos, like you said, gaining a few spots, but Weston too. Weston's also up 5 from where he started. So it's all the negatives for everyone behind Medicos and everyone in the positives for everyone ahead. As Medicos does get past, I think we have a replay at the moment, so I've already spoiled the outcome of what we have. But Medicos does get past Tom Weston, who is currently in 9th place, and it's Medicos up 6 from the start.
You did spoil it. That's my fault, though. Medicos is that showing he had in race 1 was quite impressive, and apparently he's doing it again here. He's still got plenty of time to work his way up, and there's not big gaps in front of him. You know, I mean, 5th place is only about 4.5 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, it's all very, very close. Like you said, Reese Bartlett. But he's only 4 seconds behind Nick Green, currently in the lead, who is going to maybe lose it in just a moment, as Nick Green is currently being chased down by Patero in 2nd. He's got 1 victory, wants to make it 2 to claim the title. Master and Suzuka approaching the hairpin now. Right-hander quick towards the left for the next one, but Patero doesn't go for it initially. He's going to stay behind. It's very difficult to send it in here. Keeps in his 2nd gear to keep the speed going. It's a good acceleration out on the long right-hander. Now I have the spoon and all the way towards the braking zone with the slipstream. And Nick Green doesn't go defensive just yet. Knows that he doesn't need to. If you look at this, it's just too high of a speed to go through. But this is where it's going to get dangerous. It's a very, very long straight. Going to be some arrow wash for Patero as well as they hand towards the fast left-hander. And then, of course, the chicane towards the final corner, and then it's up to turn number 1. So there's a few spots here available for Patero to take the position. But he's got to be cautious because he's got Johansson and Knox right behind him. We can see the headlights of Johansson there, and then Knox as well. So one mistake, and Knox is going to be losing 2 places because the guys behind are not slow. They're very, very quick. They might be looking to gain some spots as well.
Yeah, I wanted to cut back here. This was heating up, but so is this up here.
It's not side by side for Nick Green and Tommy Patero in turn number 1. Is he going to send it or is he going to stay behind? Knowing Patero is going to go for it. There he goes into the inside.
Ooh,
and that is quite slow through for Green.
Johansson coming there like a rocket, man. Look at him.
He's caught up instantly through the S's now. He might have a good run if he can make Green make one mistake. There it is, very, very close to the rear of Green. He's looking for it. This is the fight between the pros and the pro-ams. And this is from the front view of Johansson's car. He's going to be looking to make a different racing line. And that is Nick Green, very, very close. Almost contact there. I think you almost went into the diffuser of the car ahead. And I was going to say the McLaren, but they're all McLarens. Right-handed now and onto the hairpin. Maybe Johansson's going to have a little look here for this next turn.
You know, at this point, he's probably sitting right where he wants to be with this much time left in the race. You can stay behind Green here a little bit.
Man. That's very late on the brakes. Managing to not get contact down to first gear for that extra engine braking. Does have an off line as Green does get back ahead again. But Johansson almost getting into the rear of Green. He's now got Knox right behind him. And this is all playing in the hands of Tommy Patero, who's now 1.5 seconds ahead. And the inside being covered off once again by Green, who's just a little bit too far towards the inside. But Johansson, like I said before, if you make a mistake in overtaking, you might just get overtaken. And Knox optimistic, trying to make a little way through as they tap towards the side. And they still keep on going. And that is the contact. That's contact with Knox and Johansson. Johansson sideways on the straight. And he's dropped back a bit. And I think he's going again. But that is the number 32 car of Johansson down a spot. And he's not going to be happy with this.
No, let's go back and see that from a different angle. Because that obviously the camera was not in a favorable position there.
You have him side by side. Johansson on the left-hand side. He moves over to the right. So as Johansson moving over.
He took
but I'm not sure if that is
of that car, man.
Yeesh. That's going to be one for the stewards to look at because I'm not sure what happened. It looked like Johansson was moving over and Knox just trying to hold on to his line, but from a moving angle on the straight, that maybe curves a little bit. It's always difficult to see what exactly happens. Here we have the two of them. Knox on the left-hand side, Johansson on the right. If you look at the boxes, it's a bit of both, I think.
Oh, it really was, wasn't it? It's almost like they kind of merged together right in the middle at the same time.
It's crazy to see. I think maybe Knox thought that Johansson was going to be taking the outside because it is a left-hander coming up, and maybe Johansson was trying to squeeze Knox towards the inside, thinking he'd react. But from one angle, it looks like Johansson moved. The other looked like Knox moved, and I think the stewards are going to be looking at not two, but like all the angles to make sure that we get the right outcome here. But like I said, this all plays into the hands of Patero.
Yeah, no, Patero's out there 3 seconds now. He's really pulled a nice gap while those guys were battling. Now, at this point, we'll just have to see if Green and Knox can, put their heads down and close that gap up. Speaking of closing the gap up here, look at this mess we got going on.
Yeah, so this is for 7th place with Medicos trying to, it's actually for 6th place. Enquiries still holding on to that position. Medicos and Weston starting in right behind within half a second combined almost for P6. Medicos looking to defend the inside just a tiny bit. And then he closes in on the rear of Enquiries. And we've seen this happen as well. There's the inside being opened at the end of the Spoon corner. Medicos having the speed, but not clearly being able to see where he can put his car. And now he's being attacked by Weston. And this is what happened before as well. Tried to attack and you get attacked. Weston now on the outside, and it's going to only be trouble. And the fast left-hander who's going to take this no side-by-side action, as that is Weston backing out of it. Medicos doing a good job to hold on to the 7th, but they're losing space now to Enquiries and Kinney joining this fight. Yeah, Medical still is within the range of Enquist, but he does have trouble from behind because this is the fight within the Pro-Ams. Medical's currently 7th. He's going to be 5th in the overall standings. He's going to want to keep this position. Here it is, 2nd for the Pro-Ams. Nick Green, as we speak, just a little bit too far ahead, currently in 2nd place, as he's got Nox very closely to visit. But it is Enquist to hold on to 6th for now. These three have joined it back in again. A bit wide for Weston, maybe trying to have a little look, not get too much of the aero wash going through the long left-hander as they're approaching the hairpin, and this might get spicy. This Nox getting past Green at the exit of the corner that we were just looking at. It looks like Enquist has lost 3 places to all of the Pro-Ams, and Green now behind Nox, who's got the line already, and he's looking towards the inside. Green holding on quite well. Nox doesn't get the place, so Green holding on to 2nd place. That's a masterful job done as well from the exit of the hairpin. Yeah, false left-hander coming up. We saw this with Medicals just a moment ago. They're side by side going into the corner, and that's a sideways almost from Nick Green, who holds it straight, and that's the position for Nox going into the chicane. But was that contactless? We couldn't see. I don't think the drivers could see either. I think the only ones that saw anything were the cars and their sensors. It might just be a little bit loosey on the rear for Green, but you never know. It's a very fast corner. No one really knows what the inside line is for that left-hander. It's a little bit crazy. We can see maybe the heli cam might have some more information here, and there it is. There's a small tap. There it is. No one knows what the inside line is for this corner, and no one knows what the outside line is either. If you go side by side, it's out in out usually, as we have a singular corner there. But if you have to hold all the way to the outside or all the way to the inside, it's always going to be different and very difficult to see what is the driver next to me going to do. And they gauged that almost perfectly. This is a small tap to Green. As that's not a small tap, that's Werner through towards the sandbox. Does have Taylor waiting for him. Yeah, that's sportsmanship from Taylor, knowing that there was a small problem, and they're going to be battling it out for 12th place as is, with Werner leading Taylor on through. But yeah, it's always difficult to see what the car next to me is going to do. Like we saw that on the straight with Johansson as well. It's like Patero and Johansson just on the straight, just having contact. It happens, It's not a good thing, but it's always difficult to know what the driver next to you is going to do. But hopefully we won't see any more of that straight line incidents. But Nick Green is holding on to 3rd quite well. They're approaching the final lap now, as it's 2 minutes remaining. Meaning Patero will start that final lap, and Green might just hold on to 3rd place. No, both races did. So much action going on through. Yeah. That's lap number 10. We've almost had 20 laps already racing around this track, and it has been great. It has been very good racing, and this sets us up perfectly for the championship towards the end, especially with Nox getting back into the fight here. He might just get past Lessa with this race. We'll have to see at the ending of when the standings are concluded. We'll get back to that next week. But Green doing a good job here. Nox doing a great job. Patero getting a lot of points here, and Johansson losing some in relation to Patero. So this might just be the layup for the championship fight next week, with Patero and Johansson having that fight, and Nox also very closely behind. So this looks to be a sort of Formula One Max Verstappen-esque move this season, where we have the 2 McLaren boys ahead, and then Verstappen just almost ready to take away the lead from the final 6 races. It's going to happen here too, with 1 race to go. We've got anyone's pick basically who gets that victory over the championship, either Tommy Patero, Ian Nox, or Vegard Johansson to take the championship here. Yeah, the fight was between Johansson and Lessa, and with Lessa not being here, it looked to be clear that Johansson was going to get it. With a horrible start to the first race and a good recovery, making up for that, but then not having the greatest race here at Suzuka, it looks like he's just a little bit off his game, as Patero and Knox are just simply out of the league. They're out of this world, as Johansson has only got one more spot to gain, and he's looking for it, half a second behind Green. The question is he going to hold on to that spot? The only one who's going to surely hold on to the spot is Tommy Patero, first on the track, first to the flag, winner of race number 1, plus 15 for race number 2, gets the victory twice at Suzuka, and is your highest point scoring driver in today's event. Ian Ox in second, Nicholas Green will hold on to third, just barely under a 10th, Johansson in fourth, and that's going to make the championship a bit more spicy going on to the final race. Bartlett takes home a fifth, and that's going to be the victory for the AMs, as Medicals and Weston slot in sixth and seventh. Then Kinney, Enquist, and Miller will drop behind that as well, followed by Taverner. And then we have a question: is it going to be Werner, or is it going to be Taylor? Going to be taking P12. Werner still ahead through the fast left-hander of the final sector of the track into the chicane. Werner is still ahead into the chicane. The number 7 car having a bit of a struggle here. They'll still hold on to it, and we'll take home 12th, putting Taylor in 13th. And then we have Chancheret with a weekend to forget in 14th, currently trundling about in right before the spoon corner, and he'll be disappointed with his haul this weekend, but he'll have to look at the Algarve circuit in Portugal to see if he can make anything work for the final event. But wow, what an event, what a race, what a track. And we said it in the beginning, it's dark. You can't see anything. Right. But I think this is the race where we have collectively seen the most this entire season.
Yeah, this was some great action. To be honest, I didn't think it was going to be as exciting as it was tonight. Great action up and down the field, a lot of battles, a lot of crazy incidents, a lot of off tracks. Just pretty as you said earlier, pretty spicy.
Yeah, we've had a lot of incidents, and unfortunately, that's part of racing. We might see some stuff happen with the stewards changing up the final decisions, because look at the gaps. We have Johansson a 10th behind Nick Green, and 2 seconds to Knox, and then 6 seconds to Patero. It's quite close in the top 3 and the top 4, which is basically almost the same time. Like, we have those small gaps, and maybe with one decision from the stewards, we get some different outcomes, but as it stands now, Patero in first place, Knox in second, Nicholas Green winning in the Pro-Ams and completing the overall podium, Johansson fourth, Reese Bartlett in fifth, has gained 2 spots from the start. He had a very good start towards the race, gaining a few, I think 5 spots off the get-go, dropping back a little bit, but still taking home 5th for the victory of the AMs. He's currently in second, but Parker Enquist is in first. I don't think the points gap is that big in between the two. Let's take a quick look. It's Enquist with 74 and Bartlett with 53, but Bartlett's had a good weekend, so he might just gain a few more points here at Suzuka to get him up in the standings, or maybe even in contention for the victory for next week.
Yeah, and Enquist had he didn't have the best weekend. He finished behind Bartlett in both races, so.
That's all going to be going down to round 7, the Algarve circuit in Portugal. One more race that we have to go for this season. There's absolutely nothing we can show you here at Suzuka. There's nothing to be shown. So I think we're going to be wrapping this one up. Thank you, Jim, so much for showing me the sites, getting me the replays and all the action info in the background for tonight. I have been Olaf, aka Novice Racing. You can find us all over at JPB. For some more racing. I think we've got some good stuff coming your way later tonight as well. I'm going to be having a little look at the schedule that I haven't done.
We have IGP Fun, Super Formula Lights coming up. That one's going to be 30 minutes later than its normal start because of the to not conflict with the Formula One race this after. Well, it would be tonight for over there, but this afternoon here. So they're going to, which I'm only, of course, 3 hours from the Formula One race. I should just take off and go. But yeah, they're going to, so that's going to be later this afternoon or this evening. And then tonight, American time, 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock Eastern time this evening, we're going to have the Super Formula Series from the Sim Racing for Simpletons League. So, yeah, some good stuff coming up. Some good formula racing this evening.
Yeah, very excited for that. But I'm also very excited for the last round of this championship. If you are as well, make sure to subscribe to the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel. I keep saying JPB and then JPB Broadcasting.
Right.
It's just the acronym. James Barfoot Broadcasting. Subscribe to the channel so you can get notified for the next one, or mark it in your calendars next week at the same time. It's going to be 12. It's going to be noon UK time, and that is I think 6 a.m. for the Eastern. Or is it 6 a.m. for the Central? I forget all the American times.
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well, the time that is now for you, an hour back in a week.
6 a.m. 6 a.m. in the morning, Central Time.
There we have it.
7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is pretty much what most Europe bases its American times off of.
Right. So, make sure to clock in here for the final round where we have the championship decider. It's going to be very, very close between Johansson, Patero, and Knox. All three of them will have a good battle here. And Patero, of course, having that double victory tonight is going to give him all the best chances. But for now, we're going to leave you here with the little sites that we have. And we're going to wish you a good night further. And we'll see you again next week.